Please review the disclosures. Nothing written, expressed, or said here should be looked at as investment advice or an admonition to buy, sell, or trade any security or financial instrument. The Lund Loop is for informational purposes only. Hey everybody, welcome to the daily update for Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025. Everybody's waiting on Tesla. Oh my God, it's Tesla. We should have the earnings at some point during this call. This daily update. Just want to remind everybody tomorrow and Friday, the daily update will be a little bit later in the day because I will be out in Vegas for my friend Joe Fahmy's birthday party. Speaking of friends, let's do a perspective break here real quick. So this is my buddy John Borman. John passed away 5 years ago yesterday from a very ugly, aggressive, nasty brain tumor. Left behind a wife and 2 young kids. John was a great guy, and I posted something on Twitter about him today. You can see a lot of people in the community responded, a lot of people talking about him. And it's the reason I'm bringing this up is no matter what your worst day is in the market, like your worst day, like even if you lost everything, you're still here. John would give everything to lose everything in the market today or tomorrow or next week just to be here. So it's important to have perspective. Also, if you can click this link here on the tweet, if you're interested to know a little bit more about John, great guy. I wrote a little in memoriam thing for him after he passed away. But even if you don't care about John the person, I linked to an article that he wrote. It doesn't exist out there anymore, but I had the copy for it. And so I reposted it a couple years ago. It's the simple trick that can help you hold winners for longer. It's a fantastic article for anybody that's trying to trade while they work, trade while they're not at their desk, try to swing trade. It's just a great article. You should read it. I'll post it in the Discord. If for some reason you don't see it in the Discord, you can't get it on Twitter, I guess you could email me. Okay, so where do we go now? Let's see. Let's look at Tesla. Anything happening? Not yet. Somebody asked me the other day, after I did the daily update on Monday, they said, "Why did you say a good day, but not a great day?" Because that was the day that we made this move. Let's see. Let's blow up the SPX. That's the day we made this move here when we broke this short-term downtrend. By the way, I'm working on a new audio-visual setup here, so if this looks a little fakakta, I'm not Jewish, but I love Yiddish words. I really do. So if it looks a little fakakta, I think that's Yiddish. Sorry. So everyone's like, why is this a good day but not a great day? And I said, because we've yet to resolve this bar. This to me is the controlling bar. Above here, a close above here and a hold, I think we go higher. Close below here and a hold, and I think we go lower. And until then, it's chop, chop, chop. So I also said I wouldn't have been buying extended names right here, because we could have a small pullback day. Now, we didn't have a pullback day, really. We had an inside day, which was perfect. But if you didn't buy here and you held here and you waited and you looked at stuff that was on the watch list, on our daily setups watch list, then you have options, right? Here's your option. You come in and your stock is down massive. You go, there's no setup. Or you go and you look at, one of the many videos on how to do this intraday trading. You say, cash flow trading after a big down day. Well, that would be something we would do tomorrow. Actually, it's not that big of a down day. But how about this? Taking a surgical long on a big down day. The point is if you didn't buy extended names here, if you were buying in here, and you didn't buy extended names here, and you held off here, when you came in this morning, you had options. One option is just to walk away and go, yeah, everything's down. The other option is to watch the daily levels to see where you could get involved. We talked about this in the Discord this morning. Let me pull it up here. I talked about ASTS. Right, so, come on. All right, here's what I said. This was before the market opened. I said ASTS is taking a hit this morning on a $1 billion offering. I'll be watching how it reacts once the market opens, as it's currently trading right around the 21 EMA, which could be a place to buy. So again, you come in, you see your names, they're going down. Okay, so we watch. We watch for spots where it might make sense, where we could find some intraday base to get long. Now, if you look at what ASTS did today, Let's go over to ASTS. Uh-oh, Tesla. ASTS. Okay, so ASTS came here, flushed. You wouldn't have been buying it any of this area. None here, none here. Right? You still have the 20, which is the limiter, right? Look at this. But when we get that flush, which this happened to correspond with the futures flushing and then reversing, okay, here's a spot that you could say, well, maybe I'm going to get involved here. How about this? You flush, you come back up, you recapture all the moving averages, and you have this tight 2-bar pattern right below what was support and is now resistance. And then boom, you're off to the races. Okay. That's how you play a day like today. You give yourself options by not chasing something, like chasing ASTS here, right? And then having to hold here and then all of a sudden having to wait through the drop here. Most people are going to say, I can't do that. I got to sell. I'm out. I'm out of this thing. And then that's when it turns around and they kick themselves. So anyway, let's see if there's any more Tesla. I hope this is exactly what Tesla does. Just chop, 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 because I just got a bunch of December 19th calls I've written against my positions. I want to just chop up that equity. All right. What was I going to talk about next? Let's see here. Oh, yeah, I was going to give a little update on how I'm positioned. Okay, so if you remember on Friday, I took 4 option plays on Friday. Took options in Amazon, Microsoft, Bros, and NVIDIA. And I posted them in the Discord, posted the prices, posted the strikes. So here's what's happened since. On Amazon, oops. All right, so Amazon, yesterday I got out at 2 different spots. Got out for half at 75% profit, half for 100% profit. So I was out yesterday. On Bros, I got out for, yesterday I got out at 50% and 50% and 70, no, 50% and 100% on Bros. Yeah, 75 and 100 on Amazon, 50 and 100 on Bros. Microsoft today got out on this pop-up here for 75% profit on half. So I still got the other half open. And NVIDIA is like probably going to be a 0. So how does this break down? Let's just break it down here. Amazon sold 50% for 75% profit, 50% for 100% profit. Bros, 50 for 50, 50 for 100. Today, Microsoft, 50 for 75%. Probably going to break even on Microsoft on the other half of it. And I'll just assume that NVIDIA is going to be a 100% loss, right? So that's going to net me 25% of my money. I'm locked in at 25% of my money. So I had fixed downside, had some upside, and I knew it was a short-term play. So I'm locked in at 25%. Now, if I get lucky and I can, Microsoft holds up or maybe even moves, I can maybe get 25, 50% there. That's more. And if I get really lucky and NVIDIA comes back in the next couple of days, at least gives me a break even, that would even up the percentage more. So that's where I'm at in terms of those positions. I've got a longer-term position in Bros, which I started buying here and bought a little bit more here. And then I bought a lot around this area. I also bought options here. I believe I also sold some puts down here. And this is all in the Discord. And then when Bros made this move here, I started selling the commons up here, selling the options here, covering the puts, buying them back. Then and I didn't sell it all. I just sold the add-ons. I still have my core position that I started there. Then I did more options here on Friday, as we just talked about, sold them out here. So I'm actually profitable right now with a larger position than I had here just because of trading around here. Now, I don't recommend this. This is really not a good way to do things. It would have been much better to wait for here and time it, but that's the way it is. So anyway, that's where I'm at on Bros. And this is a longer-term position. This is a position I'm trying to accumulate over time. I'll probably hold it through earnings. And then the only other position I've got of any consequence is Oscar, which I think I started getting here. It popped here. I sold a little bit here. I bought a little bit more back here. So I'm still in a profit position on this. This, again, is another one that I'm kind of holding for long term. I like this. If you look at this on a weekly chart, right, it looks really good here. And then other than that, I just have, obviously, I'm a bag holder for a lot of pot names, marijuana names, MBIO, VUZI, all those things that I've basically written off as 0. So anyway, that's where I am right now. Let's go through the let's go through all of the indexes. And I've cleaned up a ton of charts today. Cleaned up a ton of the index charts, a bunch of the ETF charts, and then we've got some additions to the watch list, if you can believe that. All right, here we go.